And Laura, I am sure you're going to agree that the world has gone mobile.
Absolutely.
You have like 9 devices of your own.
Mhm.
Today's employees want to be on the go and to have access to everything when they are out of the office. It's about productivity. And this is both good and bad because every company needs to analyze what level of risk they are willing to accept and associate with all the business processes that they use. Now, the use of mobile devices is obviously no different.
Correct. And it's interesting that more people in the world have cell phones than they have toilets. And that is just absolutely and completely insane,
It
as you
really
can
is.
imagine, right? And in 2014, we surpassed another milestone. We now have more mobile devices in the world than we have, guess what? People.
Yeah.
How many are in your household? Well, I have a family of 5, and we have 5 cell phones, 3 tablets, 1 Kindle, and a 2-in-1 laptop.
Wow.
So we have 10 mobile devices, and I guess I have added to the problem.
You have indeed.
Officially.
Right. Yes. You have devices all over the place. Now, one item that we need to realize is that when employees have this many devices, as in your household, Laura, the devices are not cared for as they would be if they were hard to come by. Again, they're all over the place. It's easy to get. And as the number of mobile devices grows, so does the throwaway attitude toward them. Now, this is added to the level of risk associated with their use and adds to the complexity when considering how we should go about securing these devices.
What is actually happening out there in the big bad world? Well, let's compare threats from 2013 with those from 2014 to get an example. It is not surprising that we have had a significant increase from one year to the next. But what is surprising is that sheer number of threats against Android when compared to Apple. It's shocking, especially since there are nearly twice as many Apple products as there are Android. We have to ask ourselves, why? Well, it mostly has to do with the vetting that Apple requires in order to get an app in their system. You and I may state that they have better security, which is true, but the root is that they charge more money to get the apps through the process.
Right.
It is always about money, and we can also see that most attacks are profit motivated. Hackers, of course, want money. This can range from charging for an app that installs a virus to stealing credentials to creating apps that will push ads that obviously and of course you do not want. There is a list of potentially unwanted apps as well. These are apps that are legitimate but may open your mobile device to more threats. In other words, the permissions you have to give that app is too high, and it allows for other attack surfaces to be exposed.
Right. And we also have seen some attacks via mobile devices that are really big or dangerous. As an example, you remember back in 2013, we see the Express Spam, a threat which is a Trojan, really, that steals personal information from your mobile device. This was found in an unofficial Android app market and targeted users mostly in Japan. Now, during the install, this app will ask permission that gives the Trojan access to accounts on the device, the internet, phone state, and contact data. And getting items from an unofficial app store, you're just asking for problems, right? And I think we're all learning that in very real ways. Also, you remember back in 2014, we saw something that was pretty interesting, the SM4W.H, also known as the GEPU.A or .B. It originated from the Windows banking Trojan Droldak and will hop onto an Android phone when connected to the infected Windows system. Yes, from Windows to Android, so it's starting to go cross-platform here. And it infects 2 systems for the price of 1. Now, this mobile banking Trojan would steal credentials from the login to the banking site. And again, it's a nasty Trojan that we want to avoid at all costs.
Of course. Not to be outdone, we should discuss at least one threat on Apple's iOS. This threat has to do with their App Store changes since iOS 7.1.1 apps on these phones or iPads can be replaced with fake apps that can be used to install malware or grab users' data. These apps are not part of the Apple Store, but because Apple does not require the certificates to match, a user can be tricked into installing them. That's the trick.
Yeah.